Hey, it's Howie Mandel, and I am inviting you to witness history as me and my Howie Do It gaming team take on Gilly the King and Wallow 267's $1 million gaming in an epic global gaming league video game showdown. 4 rounds, multiple games, 1 winner, plus a halftime performance by multi-platinum artist Travie McCoy. Watch all the action and see who wins and advances to the championship match against Neo right now at globalgamingleague.com. That's globalgamingleague.com. Everybody games.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
With Car Guru's Discover, you can skip the filters and describe what you're looking for in your own words. Simply type what you want, and Car Guru's Discover instantly surfaces real listings that match your exact needs. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
Yo, Trojan family, what's up? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB Network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud, with a recruiting roundup from the weekend. It is now Monday evening, heading into Tuesday soon, depending when you're listening to this. It was a big recruiting weekend. I was at campus Friday, as I've said many times, so saw a lot of recruits on Friday, but the recruiting visits extended into the weekend on Saturday, so I was able to get some feedback, and others have put feedback out there, and it was a great weekend at that. We all know Saturday, Honor Fa'alave Johnson commits the prize jewel, or the crown jewel of this 2027 class, the #1 athlete in the country, the #1 player in the state of California, stays home and commits to USC, but a lot of other foundational builds were implemented this weekend with other visiting recruits and perhaps some clarity at some positions as we move forward. I just dropped a video earlier about #1 tight end Ahmad Hudson putting USC in his top 6, so you can check that out here on the channel. It's the last video we put out, so I won't talk about him on this one. We'll get into the safety position, some O-line prospects, and the edge position quickly as we go into the evening. USC LFB, as always, brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Make sure to check out the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, Jaden Mayava has the 12th best odds to win the Heisman at plus 2,700. I almost call those the 12th worst odds. He should be much higher than that, in my opinion. So get it while it's hot over at FanDuel Sportsbook. All right, let's start with Gavin Williams, the 12th rated overall safety prospect in the 27 class, according to Rivals Industry Rankings. He was at campus this weekend, watched practice on Friday, and the visit went very well. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. So essentially, and I think I've mentioned this before, but once Doug Belk and Danton Lynn left USC, that kind of, I don't want to say pushed away Gavin Williams, but he was always seen as a almost lock to USC in some capacity, right? Like it was really, we kind of had it ironed out of like, hey, if all things go to plan, which it was looking like they would, you'd have Aaron Washington and either Danny Lang or Duve Williams as your 2 corners, and then you'd have Honor Fa'alave Johnson and Gavin Williams as your 2 safeties. Well, once Belk and Lynn left, that kind of allowed other schools to jump in because he had a great relationship with those guys. And so USC kind of fell from grace, if you will, and had to kind of climb their way back up. Well, this weekend went great. Was able to talk with Gary Patterson, see his coaching style, and not more importantly, but equally importantly, was able to see Paul Gonzalez, who I have just been blown away by watching him in person. I think he is one of the most underrated staff hires this season. I think he's that good, and being able to play with the talent at USC, I think we'll really see the development piece come into play. So was able to meet with him and had a lot of good things to say about Paul Gonzalez, about Gary Patterson. Obviously, the rest of USC is still intact. So after the visit, feels like USC is in a really good spot. Now, the question will be, and this is not me making this up, is will USC have the NIL funds / allocation at the safety position to get Gavin Williams? Honor Falave Johnson was their number one target, period, in the class. That means he probably did not come cheap. I don't know the exact figures on what his NIL deal was, but when you're the number one player at a position, you're going to command high NIL dollars. And so will they have enough to go and get a Gavin Williams who is going to be not just highly sought after, but highly compensated by all the other top programs around? So that's what they would love to have him. That's absolutely no doubt they would want Gavin Williams to be here at USC if they can make it work. The question will be if they have the funds to do it without pulling from other position groups, because they have kind of allocated by positions and whatnot in order to have kind of a somewhat budget. Not making that up. I don't know the exact numbers, but that's kind of the way it is. So that will be interesting to see. We will keep tabs on that, and I will keep you guys posted. If they get outpriced or just decide, you know what, we could probably make this work, but we'd rather not overspend what we thought, some other options for them at safety of guys that they are very interested in and have mutual interest at USC. Miles Baker, he's a local prospect, 27th ranked safety in the class. Jalen Hill, we've talked about him before. St. John Bosco, he's a 25th ranked safety in the class. You also have, local prospect. You also have Jaden, I swear, but I write these down sometimes in my handwriting. Aparicio out of Alabama. He is also in that, Aparicio Bailey, excuse me. He is also in that 24 to 25 range of ranked safety. I think Rivals has him as high as 6, but their industry rankings bumps him down a little bit, but I think there's some mutual interest there, again, based on price point. Jaden Walk Green, if you're going to go a little cheaper, Centennial, great program there. He's the 34th ranked safety. Do they kick the tires on Khalil Terry again? Khalil Terry out of Tustin, there's a lot of mutual interest there. He ultimately ended up committing to Notre Dame when USC kind of shifted focus to Gavin Williams. Do they kind of go back to him and see if there's interest there and see what they can make work? And then there's also the thought that Paul Maola, who is a 2028 safety prospect at Santa Margarita, the number 4 ranked prospect in that class, there's a lot of chatter that he could reclassify. If he does, I know there's huge interest from USC there. What's his price point of reclassifying? So a lot of interesting notion of what could happen, especially next week. If Danny Lang does ultimately, or not even next week, this week now on Saturday, if Danny Lang does ultimately commit to USC, well, locking down the corner position then with Washington and Lang, and then you got Falave Johnson at safety. You got one spot left, and we'll see how they allocate things from here. So it'll be interesting to see, but that's kind of the latest at the safety position at the moment. Offensive line, Drew Fielder, talked about him. He had his second visit this weekend. I'll just say it is looking really good. I don't want to say it like that. There's a real strong possibility a flip could occur. Now, he's going to be back at Oregon, so we'll see if the love interest or the reason why he committed really kind of overtakes him again and he's good and settled in, or if he'll feel that yearning to stay home at USC. Remember, Servite prospect. He's a legacy in terms of family members who played at USC. Dad got his MBA at USC, so a lot of ties to USC, and obviously he's been at campus now twice in 2 weeks. Had great visits, met with the coaching staff, and I think really saw the culture and what the program is building and can feel a sense of wanting to be a part of that, which is what USC has done so good in recruiting since 365 days ago or so, when they really kind of revamped their entire recruiting department and strategy. So Fielder, not saying it's done, not putting in a, I've got so many good names for you guys, not putting in a dire decree or a declaration or an LAF bomb yet, but looking good if things can continue going on. Michigan offensive line commit, Luis Esposito IV. He will take a USC visit on April 4th. So we will see him at the beginning of April, one of the last spring practices. So sure will be a spirited one. He will be here visiting. He's the 3-star 69th ranked interior offensive lineman. I believe he's a Michigan legacy. So a lot of ties there. Not going to be an easy flip, but getting him on campus is always a good thing, and we'll see how that can progress. Lastly, and then we'll wrap up, I haven't really talked about Mekhi Brown. He visited over the weekend. He's the 7th ranked edge player, 4-star in the entire 2027 class, and he's the number 1 ranked player out of the state of the Connecticut. 6', 235 is his profile at the moment. He had a fantastic visit at USC, said he felt like USC made him a priority, got to meet with Lincoln Riley, got to meet with Coach Patterson, Coach Nua, who we know Nua is one of the more underrated recruiters on this team. He was the, I don't want to say sole reason, but a massive reason why Luke Wafel from the East Coast chose USC over Penn State and Ohio State. So Sean Nua could certainly be the closer in this one for Mekhi Brown. Obviously, Coach Dog will be involved as well. So definitely keep your eye on Mekhi Brown. When you think about defensive line, you got Isaiah Vandermeer. You've got some other prospects that they're high on. Mekhi Brown would be one of those. Probably only going to be 3 defensive linemen in this class. So he would be one of those top edge guys, and you'd see probably 2 interior guys. So Isaiah Vandermeer being one, and then 1 others, with Mekhi Brown being the sole edge player in this class. So good things coming out of camp from there. He said it was great vibes from start to finish. He also said this is via rivals. I like what he's building, he said of Riley. He definitely has a plan for the place and has great energy about him. Coach Riley, Coach Patterson, Coach Nua, and other staffers spent a lot of time with me on this visit, and it was great. They are very high for me. They are at the top of the list. The staff showed me how much of a priority I am, and the whole staff has a great vibe to them. So that is a nice new development of a player who hasn't really been high on the radar that we've talked about, that is now probably one of these premier priority guys at the edge position, and a very, very talented one at that. And if you look at a class, it's probably going to be in that 70% plus of Cali players. He could be one of those out-of-state kids that they make a priority and kind of make him feel like California's home and surround him with recruits during the process. I will keep you posted there. Quickly went through it. Drop your comments, any questions you have below on anything. I'll try my best to answer any of them. We'll be back tomorrow. Plenty more. Hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate you, family. As always, fight on.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.